On this video, I'm going to talk about conflict and peace and how we can sometimes really wish that the conflict wasn't there, that the conflict wasn't happening, that the challenge wasn't happening inside us, and we just want to have peace. The thing to remember here is that the peace that we had before that conflict came from probably going through another conflict, dealing with it, and getting to that peaceful place. Hi, I'm Lucy, an aligned peak performance coach and speaker. We've all been through conflict of some kind or another. And sometimes I know for myself that conflict builds up inside because I'm not dealing with it, because I'm not speaking to the person or the people that I need to speak to go through that and work through it in a really positive way. Because I don't like conflict. And I know anybody else out there feel that they really don't like conflict. I've heard so many people say that, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm just the same. But the thing is, if we don't address that feeling of conflict, that we feel out of alignment with what somebody's said, we don't agree with what somebody said, if we don't do that, it starts to eat away inside us, and we don't have that internal peace. And so being able to find a way to voice what we want to say in a non-threatening way, in a non-conflicting way, we're just saying, this is how I feel about this. It's not your fault. It's just the way that I feel. It's the way that I think about it. This is the way that I look at it. And so finding ways to do that, and I had that very situation this morning in a meeting that I was going to. And what I found worked for me was to send an email about what I wanted to talk about before I got to the meeting. And so instead of getting a little bit uptight about it before I went, it's like I've already put it out there. They can read that I want to talk about this thing. And when I got there, it felt so much easier because it was already on the table, ready to talk about. I then just had to say my part of my thoughts around this situation that they just wanted to go ahead with. And I was like, no, we actually need to look at the whole thing and actually see if all the different parts are working in this business before we go and add something else in. Because if all these parts aren't working over here, there isn't any point in doing that. Now, in that situation, it was much easier, and there was still some resistance because they didn't want to go and look at all the parts over here. You could ask yourself, and I wonder why they didn't want to go look at all of those parts over there. Maybe because they already know that it's not working as well as we want the thing to be working. And so even if they're still resistant over here, guess what? I feel more peaceful because I've voiced my opinion, because I've voiced my thoughts, because I've voiced those ideas around working and looking at this with a big, high overview and looking down at the whole thing without emotion. So I've done that. And even if they don't want to do it, I can go off and do it myself. They now know that's the space that I'm in, and therefore they might expect me to do that. Or they might not expect me to do that. But even if I do, it's something that's not going to come as a huge surprise to them because I've already suggested that that is something that we need to do as business owners. And so remember, if you're feeling like, I just want to be peaceful again, and you've got some conflict coming up, whether it's in your business, whether it's with partners, whether it is within yourself, chat, talk, put it out there on the table, and let's see if we can make an easier way forward and get to that place of peace. Because once it's spoken about, automatically, you're going to feel more peaceful within yourself. Most of the time. There will be another video coming up on screen. And if this has helped, which I hope it has, then do give it a thumbs up. And if you feel somebody else needs to hear this, pass it along. I will see you very soon and have the most awesome day. Take care. Bye for now.